Your natural state of being is love, perfection, and infinite worthiness. And today we're gonna talk about it. Welcome to I Am Reality Now, where you're the star and story of your own reality. I am Stephania.
And I am Mitch.
And we're so excited to delve into this wonderful topic to remind you just how beautiful, perfect, powerful you are in the present moment, and that nothing will ever be more powerful than you, your decision making, and your total, awareness of choosing whatever you want to experience next. Right, Mitch?
Yeah, states of being, I am my state. You're always conscious, always experiencing your conscious state of being. You're always ever experiencing who and what you're conscious of being. And we are here to select and have experiences, and there are infinite states of being to select from. And you always know where you are from when you wander. When you wander from a state, then you ask yourself, self-inquiry, am I where I want to be? Am I who I want to be? Is this experience what I want to feel? Being conscious of being. And that's your birthright and gift, right?
Yeah, it comes so much easier the more you stay in the awareness of being ultimate love, ultimate perfection, and just, being the peace that you are. And that's why we have this channel, you guys. And we're so excited to share this topic with you. So, something that Mitch and I were talking before recording was, like really solidifying that you are the awareness that gets to direct your life. And when I say that, I don't mean it from the human perspective, because the human, as your physical identity, has all these memories, stories, loopholes. Like it has a momentum of whatever you think that person went through, right? And the most freeing thing in the world that you can remember is that none of it is true, because the past doesn't even matter. The past doesn't exist. And right now, this second, you can choose a different experience for your beautiful human. And you can because, again, you're infinitely loved, you're infinitely saved, you're infinitely worthy and valuable. And there's absolutely nothing in your past memory bank, experience, or even any nightmare or dream you might have had that can make you any less valuable. And that's like the step one, right, Mitch?
Yep. And I would look at it also is that you always know where you want to be. There is no reality out there. There's no in there and there's no out there. There's only consciousness. There's only what your feeling state is. So you're not defined or relying and depending on some symbol to appear and then be conscious of being. It's not when that happens, then I'll be conscious of being. And it's not, also we can look at it in terms of SPs and relying and depending on someone or something to make you feel something. When we say on this channel to make you feel something, what we're really saying is to be in the consciousness of. So no one defines the consciousness that you're in. No one makes you compels you to be in a state of consciousness. You're the cause, not the effect. So consciousness is always the cause. Consciousness is the cause of the phenomena of life because you are the experiencer of everything. You are life. So whatever you're conscious of being is your life. So essentially, you're always looking at it from that perspective. There's nothing to get. There's nothing out there to get, and then in order to be. It's not getting in order to be. Sowing is reaping. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the key. And when you realize that that's your free will, then now you're empowered as consciousness because you're the boss. Consciousness of being is your identity. It's love. Love guides. Love is what's guiding this principle. For you to have free will, what other power than love gives you free will? Only love can do that. And being purifying, remaining in that state of consciousness, that's what love does as well. So you can be conscious of, okay, well, I don't want to be in this consciousness of being this way. I want to remain this way. That's what love does too, because now you feel differently. That's movement in mind. Only movement in mind can be created by love. What other power can do that other than a creative power? And that's why God is imagination, because it's a creative power for you to feel a state of consciousness. You contemplating something is, you feeling a state of consciousness is believing, and whatever you experience, you believe. So if I experience a wonderful experience, I've actually believe it because I experienced it, and it's automatic. So it's creative. It's a sheer power. So being in a state of being is being selective. Like when you go to a restaurant, you choose from a menu. What do you like to eat? You're not gonna, if you like chicken, you're not gonna keep eating salmon. You're gonna notice when you're eating the salmon. It's like, I'm eating the salmon, but I want to go back to chicken. You notice that you're conscious of eating the salmon. So if you close your eyes and somebody's, okay, honey, I want you to eat that. That's salad. I keep eating. No, I want to go back. But you're conscious of what you're experiencing. That's how you know. That awareness gives you that ability to go back and to say, no, I choose this. This is what I enjoy. I give love to this. And you're doing it consciously or unconsciously.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And if you're new to this information, this is just remembering who you always have been, right? You're meant to enjoy your life, be in a peaceful state of enjoyment, love, bliss, joy. And it's for me, my experience was learning to detach first from my thoughts, right? That's why meditation is so important. So you start kind of confronting anything that's not love. You observe, at first you observe it, and then you say, wait, that can't be true because any voice that's attacking me, anything that's telling me that I'm unworthy, or anything that's telling me that I'm not good enough, that's the lie, right? Because even like the natural progression of things is growth, expansion, even a little plant that doesn't have a physical brain, but it is awareness and is conscious of living, I think. I mean, some might dispute that, but I believe that everything has a growing consciousness, right? Because we're all part of this beautiful world. So you just observe your thoughts and you start standing up for yourself. No, that's not true. And it becomes less forceful because, again, your natural state is love, peace, bliss, fulfillment, right? So when you recognize, realize, and remember that, you're not forcing yourself to believe something like, oh, I'm like number one at this, or I'm this, like, or like I'm, whatever it is that your psyche cannot hold yet because you haven't experienced it yet. But you just have to remember that you are the power that's giving your life reality. Right? So then anything that is trying to drown you feels uncomfortable in your body, that's telling you the lies, that's the illusion. So once you confront your own thoughts, via meditation is very helpful. You can script, you can write down like positive affirmations. These are all things just to remind you, right? Not because you're doing these things to physically manifest something and get, which is very wonderful to experience. I love experiencing things in the physical world, which is also the internal. Eventually you're going to realize that it's just like an infinity loop. If you can see with it, it's going to happen without. So there's a more surrender to it. But, it's like, it becomes easy, guys. And I'm here to just share that with you. So, you can choose where your awareness is going. Anything that contracts in your body. If your body contracts and you keep it there for too long and you allow the thoughts, you're like opening Pandora's box, right? You allow the thoughts to tell you all these terrible things. Allow kind of like that purge. Don't freak out because if you start forcing it, I noticed also it's like kind of like fighting a storm. So just go back to your awareness. Just go back to observing. Be like, hey, my little human is so cute. I was telling Mitch that I always see myself as like this human. I'm like, I'm kind of like the avatar here of like my awareness, and I love her, this physical being. I love my thoughts. I love my mind. And even if I have an unloving thought, I'm like, hey, I know that you're scared or you're having disillusions. We're safe now. So it's like that consistent reminder of telling yourself, I'm safe, I'm loved, I'm supported, and I'm healthy, right? So you're having that conversation with yourself. And from there, it starts, your level of consciousness rises. So your whole world changes. Your whole world matches your level of consciousness and the level of being that you're being, right, Mitch? Because it's like, it's all connected.
Yeah, you are literally telling the world what state you're in. You're not telling it with word. I mean, you can tell it with words, but whatever words you're speaking to existence is a consciousness. You're speaking your consciousness out there, and you're acting and you're telling. So you're acting. Okay, you're choosing, and then what you're embodying. So whatever you're embodying automatically is an expression. It's simply reflecting. It's telling. So your state of being is almost like just the state of being alone is telling. The way you carry yourself, the way you're confident, the way you walk, the way you talk, it is an energy expressed. You don't have to say to the world, hey, I'm confident. You're simply doing it by your energy. So your energy is actually speaking into existence, just
Yeah.
your energy alone.
Yeah.
So that's why your state of being is talking.
I
So
love that.
I'll share with you a vision I had. I never shared it on this channel, but 2 years ago I had a vision: act, for I will tell them. So I learned that act. I'm choosing. I'm choosing the state, and I'm telling by my state of being. It's just telling it every moment of time. I'm telling this state of being. So while whatever I'm conscious of experiencing, I am telling. If I think like, okay, everyone in the world is dangerous on the road, I'm going on the road nervous. I'm actually telling. I'm telling the road, give me, give me some dangerous drivers, or give me some aggressive drivers, because that's my consciousness. So I'm in my consciousness. I am telling. I'm telling a story. I don't have to articulate with words every moment, but my state of consciousness is expressing. It's an expression
Yeah.
of my word. The word doesn't have to be said in words. Words is meaning. So state of being is meaning. So what meaning am I choosing to express? And that's what manifestation, I believe, is. It's a meaning expressing. Whatever meaning you're expressing. So I look at manifestation as meaning expressed. So that's state of being expressed, or beliefs expressed, assumptions
Yeah.
expressed. I don't have to articulate every time this is my assumption. It's formed as a state of being. State of being is a collective of beliefs, assumptions.
Yeah.
So that's what's being expressed. So I'm literally speaking to existence merely by walking. It's just
Yeah.
the energy. It's my
Yeah.
energetic being.
And you will be magnetized to see what you believe, right? So whether you think you're reflecting it or not, which I believe you are, we are. I do believe everything's a reflection of us. We're connected to everything. But even if for whatever reason you don't believe that yet, you are going to find the things that you're consistently thinking about. So if you believe there's a lot of business opportunities, guess what? Everywhere you go, you're going to see the business opportunity. You're going to see the ad. You're going to see the friendships that are offering you, wonderful things to make more investments or et cetera, right? It could even come from your neighbors. You never know. Or if you're somebody that knows there's beauty in the world. And I think that's why this was so easy for me, even before knowing about manifestation, the law of assumption, and creating your reality, speaking things into existence, because I started noticing I've always been somebody that thought, one, things always get better. And I also saw the beauty in the world. I saw the beauty in the trees. I saw the beauty in the oceans. I thought the world was magical. So then what happens, even when nothing was happening physically, some people would say even things were boring, I could look around and just show appreciation for existing, right? Like, oh, I don't need any more. So I was just in appreciation mode. I started meditating, and meditation brings you an influx of ideas and creativity, right? So then I started realizing too that I don't really have to do anything for these things to like manifest into my life. But I was already in the state of life is so beautiful. People are kind. And what happens? I saw plenty of people either give me things or help me out and, elevate my life in so many wonderful ways. People were always kind to me and they continue to be. Well, I also was one of the kind people, right? That like to share, like to elevate, like to help others. And so it was very easy for me to be in that like reality loop, right? And so like whatever you're experiencing right now, there are so many wonderful things to be able to wake up and be like, oh my God, I exist. Oh my God, life is amazing. And untether from whatever illusion of a problem you think you have. Do not give it your life source, because it's very compelling when there's a quote unquote problem and it pulls you into it. But the silliest thing in the world that we can keep confirming is that the problem ceases to exist when you stop paying attention to it, when you stop giving it a fear and the angst and the, oh my God, like what is going to happen? No, guys, it's like the opposite. You get to appreciate everything else in the world, and then the solution either organically comes up, or the ideas or the people, or, we really live in a magical world.
Yeah, I love what you said, and it reminds me of what Joseph has Joseph Rodriguez referred to. I do nothing. And when he says I do nothing, he refers to the Bible, that I do nothing, that the Father within me doeth the work. I do nothing, but the Father within me doeth the work. What is he saying? What does the Bible say? What it's saying is that my state of being is doing the work for me. I don't have to do anything. My beliefs are expressed. My consciousness of being is something is always outpictured. I'm experiencing it. I'm experiencing whatever. I go on the road, it's safe. I go to this business opportunity, it's safe. What does safe feel like? What is, more and more so each day feel like? More and more so each day, I'm becoming more and more safe and
Hmm.
supported. I'm in the consciousness that every day is increasing. And whatever you're conscious of being is what you experience. I'm always experiencing what I'm conscious of being. That's a fact. I'm always experiencing what I'm conscious of being. And it's not experience, there's no outer world. I'm experiencing that myself. What is the feeling like? As Neville would say,
Yeah.
what would the feeling be like if it were true? What is the consciousness like if it were true? Is what he's saying. And Neville was a great teacher, very eloquent, helping people understand how to teach consciousness. What would the feeling be like? Being in the wish fulfilled. What is the consciousness state of being? What is living in the end? What's the There's all fancy ways, really, just really imaginative ways of saying what is your
Yeah.
consciousness state of being, and
Yeah.
that's how you know, and that's how everyone is yourself pushed out. Experiencing all the drivers on the road acting in a certain way. Why are all the drivers, or quote unquote, all the drivers acting in a certain way? That's everyone is yourself. Why is it when then I change my state of being? Everyone is very respectful on the road. Everyone is yourself pushed out. I'm now reacting to safe drivers.
Yeah.
It's not that
Yeah.
they're not doing anything differently. I'm reacting differently.
Yes, yes, and you are also speaking it more and more of your preferred life into existence, because I was talking to a friend the other day, and he said something disempowering exactly about driving, and I said, "Oh, you mean every driver loves us?" And he's like, "But like, didn't you just see what they did? Look what they did to me." I was like, "They are not evidence of what's going to happen next. I'm choosing what's going to happen next. So you say it before it happens." He just looked at me like, okay. Like, and I was like, I'm serious. You get to speak it. I don't care what happened right now. Right now is not now. Like this second, whatever happens out here, I don't care, because I'm the commanding voice, right? And that's what we keep telling you guys in these other videos. It's like you get to speak it into existence, and I don't care what happened in the past. And you get to give it momentum. And I love manifestation, like success stories, which is essentially just jumping out of a state, right? And there's so many cool things that can happen, and not the way. And you don't need to know the way. You just have to jump into the state, right? And something that happened several years back, I want to say like 5 years ago, I I think I was in between payments. I don't know what happened, but I think no. What happened was that I wanted to be in a state of just like shopping freely, right? Like I just wanted to not matter. Like I wanted to go to the grocery store, and I just for fun just was swiping, buying whatever I wanted. I think because I was in between jobs at that time, I had fallen into the illusion of limited resources. So I was in saving mode, right? I don't agree with that, because if you're always in saving mode, you're like, there's not enough, right? So I had in my bank account an amount that I was being more mindful, because I didn't know when the next payment was going to come. And I remember just closing my eyes and just being like swiping, buying whatever I wanted, not looking at the prices of groceries, whatever. Within like a week, I find um like a card that was given to me by an old job that I hadn't been in like 2 years, I think. And it was a medical card, but it was like an insurance card. I don't even know how I got the idea that there was money on this card, but it was supposed to be for medical situations. And I even called, and they're like, yeah, you have like I think I had over $1,000 on this card, and they were like, "Yeah, but you're only allowed to use it in medical situations." So then I remember this is crazy because this was not conscious. This was my body just behaving. So I just left it in my purse. I was like, cool. Like, I was like, well, I never have to go to the doctor. So I wonder why I'm ever going to need it. I put it in my wallet. Within a day, I decided to test it out in the grocery store and it worked. So then I had like over $1,000 buying whatever I wanted on a grocery store. Now, would the logical mind think that this was going to work for that? No. Did I even know that I had that card? No. Did I even remember? So what I'm saying, you guys, is that I put myself in a state of freely shopping, having my needs met, my needs met, and it's just so fun when you actually see the development of how it does become your reality because you already chose it, right?
Yeah, there are choosing it is really what I'd love to talk about is that infinite, there are infinite states choosing. Infinite, it's really hard for the mind to understand, to wrap ourselves around that. Like we hear, well, we may read and we hear about it, infinite states, but infinite states is because consciousness is unlimited. It's unlimited in terms of what we would choose to contemplate. We could literally contemplate anything.
Yeah,
Anything you set the mind that it can perceive or conceive, perceive, it can conceive. Anything the mind that it could perceive can
yeah,
conceive. And it really is imagination. And we experience what we entertain.
exactly.
The moment we entertain it, we have experienced it in that moment.
Yeah,
And that's why there's infinite states. And whatever you experience, you believed it. Otherwise, you couldn't have experienced it unless you believed what you entertained. You couldn't. You couldn't have
yeah,
experienced unless you couldn't believe it unless you
yeah,
experienced, unless you couldn't. So we literally have literally actually, is infinite states to choose from.
yeah.
And we have infinite, finite, focused experience. And that's what we're here in this world through our senses to experience is that we have infinite ways to imagine anything. For example, we can imagine the way things are going to play out. We
Mhm,
can, I mean, not the how, but the end. Well, and the thing is, that's fulfillment. So desire equals fulfillment, cause
mhm,
equals effect.
mhm.
Um, so when you realize that you are, sheer power, that you have total free will to do this, you realize that you're liberated. And that's what states of
Mhm.
being do. And your awareness of an experience. So you don't have to have something to get. You can experience that now. So there's no
Yeah.
anxiousness. There's no, where's my lover? Where's my partner? You know, it's when you realize this, it doesn't make
Where's
sense.
my
It doesn't.
car? And and the reason why I share the story specifically is because you don't that's in case like if you don't have to have it in the physical or even know where the resources are coming for you to experience it, right? And that experience gives you freedom. It really does. And I reference to that because I heard a story of somebody on YouTube. Oh, I forgot her YouTube roast something. It was her YouTube channel, but she was talking about her own success story of how she was bedridden. She couldn't move because her body was like frozen in, I guess, fear, right? She later realized that it was because she was speaking so negatively to herself and about the world that her body shut down. And so she said when she recognized that she was the conceiver of that state, she changed her state by imagining herself running. So she was in bed, and every day she said she would close her eyes and feel the power of her body moving. And her body actually did, the body listens your state of being. And that's what imagination does for all of us, right? Like, do not get stuck wherever your circumstances are now. You can That's why we say like freedom is free. Literally, freedom is free, and you can do that right now despite of whatever story you had. And that's why I love detaching. And I say you're not your human. Do not even attach to the family. Send everything love, right? Like your family could be still part of your development, but see them with love because they are you. Like there's no separation. So when you can see your parents in a loving way, reimagine everything. Like I've destroyed so many memories. Like Listen, like it sounds a little crazy sometimes, but it's not because what was crazy is living in pain, right? I even went to therapy years ago and the therapist was like, all these coping mechanisms. And
Sure.
I literally said, wait, I'm just going to make something else up because that's going to feel better. If I, if I just keep talking about these problems and painful moments, I'm sure there was wonderful moments in my childhood, right? And there were. It was just the addiction of the mind to only remember what was painful and not serving me that kept the pain and the psyche and like the memories and all that BS, right? So then what did I do? I told Mitch, I was like, Mitch, like things are so easy now because I have chosen that they were always easy. And that's why we use the word easy because some people get frustrated, like, oh, this process is not easy, whatever, like the healing, the helping, blah, blah, blah. But if you're gonna say this is so hard and challenging, I'm never gonna get out of it, then guess what you're doing? Another self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So if you're like, hey, you know what, this is really easy for me to remember how amazing I am. It's really easy for me to remember that my parents are amazing. It's so easy for me to know that my siblings always supported me. It's so easy for me to remember that my family has so much prosperity. It's so easy for me to know how successful, wise I am and my friends are. It's so easy for me to remember how kind my friendships are. And like, if you get the thought and the memory of like it reminding you otherwise, right? It's like, oh, well, no, remember this girl did this to you, blah, blah, blah. This guy did this to you, your ex, blah, blah, blah. Remember when you were dumb and your teachers didn't like you? You know what? You purify it. Now you're like, hey, awesome. Come back to me so I can remember it righteously. What are you talking about, thought? What are you talking about, person on the street that maybe wasn't smiling back? Everything in my world is perfect because I am loved and loved and safe.
Yeah, and let's peel back the layers here. Do you see the way Steph is expressing herself? Why is Steph able to express herself? Why am I able to express myself? Because we're being as I am, and the more you're being as I am, you hardwire it. You're being your true identity. There is no conditional fulfillment. You couldn't have conditional fulfillment when you're not when if you're being not being as I am. You can't, because then you're expecting something out there to validate, and there's nothing out there to get. So you're in
Yeah.
this constant cycle of anxiousness, of frustration, because you have the ability to select your state of being. You have this ability to choose from infinite states. So when we say where is it, it's nowhere. It's now here. It's actually unconditional and it's easy. So that's what unconditional fulfillment is. It's easy
Yeah.
because it's now here. It's not nowhere. Like, where is it? I need to get it. It's now here. And now here is unconditional. So
Yeah.
that truly is why we're able to express ease and because we're able to select, like, what would the feeling be like if this is solved? What would the feeling be like that they're now healthy, that they're recovered? We don't have to wallow in somebody's disempowerment. That doesn't really get us anything. So now we're investing in somebody's suffering. There's no payoff, right?
Yeah.
To invest in any energy and attention, there has to be some payoff. There has to be what is it? When you invest, you get back your investment. It grows. So what is it you're investing in? It's a winning investment because you being conscious of being is a winning investment. It's guaranteed because you're
Yeah.
always experiencing what you're entertaining. So it's easy. I don't have to
Yeah.
wallow in suffering. It wouldn't make any sense. It
Yeah.
wouldn't, because I have infinite
And
states to choose from.
And it's easy for you to choose to get out of it, guys. I know there's a lot of conversations out in the world and different levels of consciousness of like, oh, it's so hard to control my thoughts. No, it's not. Just choose. Literally, it's like taking a step forward. Like, is it really hard to move your leg forward? No. So you really can. And I'm laughing because I do this. Like, I literally sometimes wake up and and it's like I'll like my body will contract and a thought from yesterday will come that I already remembered it righteously and then it'll come back again. And I was like, wait, I could just step away from this thought. And it's that consistent remembering, right? And that's why we're sharing it with you guys. So you too can just step away from that thought. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, right? And if you have a story around like, oh, but yesterday I couldn't do it, I had like a whatever, a panic attack, or just re-envision it. Revise yourself, remember it righteously. Oh, I had an amazing day yesterday. I was always healthy. Wow, yesterday was wonderful. I'm always so strong. I always so agile that I can go to the gym and take walks and play with my pets and play with my grandchildren. Like you can revise anything, even your dreams. And I revise in my dreams, which is so freaking funny because when things happen in my dreams, I have very lucid dreams sometimes, most of the time, that I'm just like, no, you can't hurt me, or weird things happen. I was like, wait, I'm just love. I told Mitch I had a dream the other day where I was in a mansion and apparently the illusion of robbers came in. And I say illusion because nothing can take anything from you because you are loved, you're safe, you're supported, and you're the awareness fueling life into your reality, right? Whether in your dream or in real life, because real life is also kind of like a dream, you know? So I see these like ghouls, like dressed all in black, trying to rob my home. And I was like, wait, I'm safe. I was like, this is impossible if I'm always safe. At first I did feel that contraction and then I relaxed. I was gonna safe. And then what? The goals disappeared. The people trying to rob me disappeared. I start laughing because I'm like, man, this is so funny. Like it really is me versus me and you versus you and just your awareness of going back to love.
Yeah, it's really the game of life. It really is. And you're the narrator. I mean, just like you were doing before, like, you were looking at, you're talking to yourself and you're coaching yourself and you're championing yourself. This is a game of you and you.
Yeah.
And that's how you're able to accomplish sheer power, because who's going to be there for you when you need them? You're not going to be asking, hey, I need you to talk me out of this. I mean, eventually you can't be sustained with that. You're always with yourself. You're always narrating your story, your script. So, really, uh, I would say, championing yourself, complimenting yourself, supporting yourself is hardwiring. You're really reinforcing this state. Like, wow, this is great. I was able to really change the way I look at this.
Yeah.
And that is super empowering, because you're giving love to yourself, and love is the way, love is the truth,
Yeah. And like,
and that's how you do it. Good.
oh, it's so good. It's so good. When you get really into this, it becomes so fun because let's say like there's an illusion of, let's say, somebody trying to rob you, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I send you love, so you're succeeding, so you don't have to do this to people, right? Like I send you so much love and I see you so wealthy and affluent and successful that like you're not gonna have to do this. So if you hold that like energy of like, I can't believe this happened to me, curse this person, blah blah blah, you're kind of like accepting those realities, and they create a momentum of fear in your life, essentially, right? Because you're like, oh well, this person almost did this to me, or this almost happened to me. No, it's so simple to be able to just send everything love, to give yourself freedom from those illusions, and then the natural development is that you're actually upgrading the entire world, right? You're sending love outwards, it's coming back to you because it's like the infinity sign, right? And I think another thing too, when we were talking about when people are like, let's say, showing the illusion of unhealth, or they're showing dismay, or they're showing some sort of lack, and then you associate it with like, yeah, they've always been like that. They had a poor childhood. And then we're accepting these stories because now we're giving reason to the story. But again, it's all happening right now. The present moment is the only reality. You don't have to believe in their disempowerment. So you can even just be like, wait, they always had a wonderful life. They always had a wonderful family. And, they're successful now. So it's just those little things that the mind tries to trick you, that we are so compelled to purify because we're compassionate beings, and that's amazing. However, don't drown with other people's stories, like uplift it.
Yeah, we're compelled. We are absolutely compelled. And the only reason we're compelled is because, again, we're love. We wouldn't be able to discern anything other than love unless we were love. We wouldn't be compelled unless we were love. That's how we keep knowing who we are. We keep reinforcing this identity, and it expands. So as you reinforce this identity, it expands. It expands because then
Yeah.
you start branching it out to other experiences, people. You want to see them doing well. You want to see your clients doing well. Like, what's causing that? It's this
Yeah.
reinforcing of talking, of looking, of as you're compelled to be as I am. That is an expansion energy. So love expands. You're reinforcing it with that hardwired behavior is an expansion. It creates new ideas, new ways of looking at
Yeah.
things. The ways you
Yeah.
looked at things before now change.
Yeah.
I want to have, beautiful cars. I'm used to this kind of car. Now now I could see myself in this. I could see myself in this house. What is doing that? It's
Yeah.
this reinforcing of being as I am, loving what you put your attention and energy to, and then talking about it, hearing people, seeing how you look in that experience. That's a
Yeah.
reinforcing energy. It's an expansion.
Mm.
Now you're growing a business or whatever the case is. You're working, people that you care about. You're thinking about them differently. You're looking at them that they're already perfectly healthy when maybe before you didn't.
Yeah.
So before you might have been a person, well, I always look, always looking at myself, conscious as a being. But wait a second, now I'm looking at my family different. And now I want to reconnect with people I haven't seen before. These ideas
Yeah.
start popping in your head because you're
Yeah.
talking to yourself differently. It's a
Yeah.
consciousness of this regularly. So that's why you
Yeah.
expand.
And guys, like literally things appear out of nowhere because everything's now here and you're creating the story and choosing the story and it's so beautiful. And another story that just came to mind was, for example, I know several people where they would say that they had no family, they were always alone. So that was the story they carried, right? And now I know not to fall into those stories. I'm always like in my head, like purifying, oh, even if they're saying they're single and they don't trust the opposite gender, I'm like, they're in a loving relationship because I'm wishing them what I have, right? With whatever state I'm in, is I can share my state with others. I don't say it verbally. Sometimes I do. I'm like, when you love and forgive your past and you love your present moment, everything will be added onto you, the kingdom of God, right? It's so true. Just try it. It's free, I promise. And like,
Yeah.
this person was like saying how like they didn't have any family here and then how whatever, just like stories of like sorrow. And then out of nowhere, within like less than a month, they found all these siblings that were like that she thought were in a different country. I think she was from Jamaica. And like all of a sudden they came here and she had this like a story in her mind that they were like poverty level and that they needed so many resources and help. But when she saw them here, they had already moved here and they were very like wealthy and lavish and thriving and intelligent people. And she was like, oh my God, now I have cousins and I have an aunt that loves me. And this happened like in a couple of weeks, you guys, and like I started laughing because that's been so many of my experiences too. When I changed the story, all of a sudden I see my family members thriving, where before I had the story of, oh, they're sad. And then I was like, no, wait, what if like I can just see them prosperous, right? And then they started being so prosperous and I was like, this is insane. Like I really do have to be mindful of what I'm believing for myself and others.
Yeah, well, when you say story, it's funny how we have these ways of speaking. We
Yeah.
think, "Oh, it's my story." It is such a great way to understand it's your consciousness, because
Yeah.
it's not just the words; it's the meaning. It evokes a feeling state. It evokes a feeling state, and you feel fulfilled. Telling the new story, putting on the new conversation, getting a return on your investment. You're investing, you're getting a return on the investment. The return is the feeling state. I'm putting the story out there. Woo, I got a return on it. I mean, it's guaranteed, and then when you realize this love is doing it and you realize, oh my God, only
Yeah.
love can do that. It's when you start to recognize this, when you start to put the pieces together,
Yeah.
you start to really find yourself very worthy. You find yourself worthy because then you could just come to yourself, as infinite supply. You start to recognize that, okay,
Yeah.
before I gave this story, now I gave this story, I feel differently. I
Yeah.
invested in a different way of talking to myself, and now I got a return on that investment. Wow, this is a guaranteed investment. I could just change the story, it's really sheer power when you think about it. And then you start to see your experiences change, reflecting of it. So the more I
Yeah.
keep, be the experiment. I mean, you don't have to just like, you look at yourself as the experiment because you're all there is anyway.
Yeah.
So just put it out there. Let's keep it up for 24 hours. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what
Yeah.
what synchronicities, if they happen. Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm feeling good anyway doing it. What's the harm? So let's
That's
do it.
literally
And then
how
you
I
see things.
started. I was telling Mitch, you guys, I was like, I don't even care if I'm crazy because this feels so good. Because, when I started imagining things and they would happen, I was like, oh my God, I'm going insane. I've lost the plot, and like, and then when it was like so evident all the time and people in my life could start seeing it, right? And they could see it because I believed in myself, right? I believed that other people could start seeing it and experiencing this beautiful life with me. But at first I was like, you know what? This is the only thing that's allowing me to go to sleep because I came from I believe we all go through consciousness levels to be able to remember who we really are, right? Maybe some have it a little bit a smoother ride than others, and it doesn't matter because you're perfect now. Like the life that you were given is perfection. You know what I'm saying? I mean this with all my heart. I don't care if whatever story or memory because those memories are just dreams. Would you pay any attention to a dream you had once and like let it tether you into discomfort for the rest of your life? No. Just like, okay, perfect now. And if whatever you see in the mirror,
Yeah.
like it's not even about trying to change it, right? Because I think a lot of times we go into these things of like, I'm gonna visualize something else so that this doesn't happen, and then you're like, oh, I still see this thing happening and I want this thing. No, guys, like the thing that's happening right now is perfect too. Because it's
Mm.
showing you what it's showing you where you want to go. It's like art, right? So you're seeing it now and you're like, okay, this is beautiful. Let's say we have this, Ellen, we have this flower, right? Wow, like this flower is already so beautiful. If I wanted to enhance it a little bit more, I'd be like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if it was pink? Like, that's it. You're just adding on above what you already see. So it's not like, oh, I want this flower to be pink. Why isn't it pink? I want to cry.
Right.
It's like, yeah. And I was telling Mitch, there was a birthday, which was so funny. There was like a little gap where my birthdays people were not remembering my birthday. So instead of like really following into chaos in my mind, I was just imagining that I was getting so many flowers and people were remembering me. And it happened. It happened this year where I was just overwhelmed with the love and appreciation that I received from people that loved me. And I selected that scene. I know it was very evident to me. I was like, oh, here it is. This is amazing. So I do believe a little bit of patience is needed, not in the sense of like, oh, I just have to sit here and wait, but just know that it's developing, right? Like it's moving and that's beautiful.
Yeah, you're shaping energy. It's like you're the potter, and
Mhm.
like when you see things, so things come into your awareness, and you
Yeah.
you shape it. You just like shape that energy, with love. You care, like when a potter is making clay, they care. What are they shaping? They're shaping because they want to
Yeah.
express that art. They care. I want smooth out these edges. I want to make it over here, make a design here, and I want to shape it here. They're caring. They're giving love to expressing themselves. The same way that we look at this world, we want to express it in a certain way. We want to see things again, infinite states of being. That's what we're experiencing. We're expressing.
Yeah.
We're choosing, just like the clay. We're choosing, okay, I want it this way, I want it this way. Well, I
Yeah.
want to choose in this way of looking at things, that way. I see myself traveling. I see myself on a beach. I see
Exactly.
myself, whatever, in a car, or this, that,
Exactly.
holding hands.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a feeling,
Exactly.
when I go out later, I'm going to be walking around the block with my partner. We're going to, hold hands. I enjoy it. I'm thinking about that now. I'm thinking about my birthday. I'm thinking about all these flowers. Again, the potter, I'm moving the clay,
Yeah.
it's the same,
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
the same thing.
exactly. And it's like it's all the versions were beautiful. That's why there's no shame or condemnation to who you were or what you did in the past because you were just stumbling to learn how to walk, right? And then eventually you learn how to walk, you learn how to run, you learn how to swim, you learn how to lift weight and now we even fly through airplanes. Like could you imagine telling somebody from back in the day when there were no airplanes,
Mhm.
like the human's gonna know how to fly?
Exactly.
They're gonna be like, what in the world? But the world opened up so that the idea of the resources and that technology was available to us and there's so many things we don't even know yet, right? But we can play with the idea of I want this to be easier, right? So let's say I start traveling and then you get the cheapest flights. That's fine because now you're traveling, your wish is there. And then because you feel uncomfortable in your seat, you're like, oh, I want to do first class next. That's it. It's not like, oh, my life is over because I did get the wish, but I got the most uncomfortable seat and the whole thing. No, there's still beauty to be enjoyed and excitement in that process, right? So it's just giving you more awareness on how it could be better. Um, so that's what we're saying, right? Like it's perfect now. The development of it is all freaking perfect. Things appear out of nowhere. And the more you live in this world of knowing that, things get faster and faster and faster, right?
Yeah, yeah, they really do. And I think the more that we contemplate, the more that we see things the way we desire them to be, the more that we will experience and see that in the world and see that in humanity and companies that we help and partnerships and all this stuff because we're being as I am doing so. And then they thrive.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
And I want to leave you guys with this. It's that I keep contemplating lately. It's either you're either in the world of Caesar or you're walking on water. There's no in between. So you observe the world of Caesar, which is also a reflection of you, right? Like, please remove that thought that everything's out to get you, that there's like this matrix that is like here to like, cause your doom, because that's not going to benefit you. Even if it is, it's not benefiting you because you're drowning in impotency, right? Now you're a victim of like some sort of higher, some other you made somebody else a higher power where you can just be like, you know what, this is a beautiful world that I can thrive in. Nothing can essentially hurt you if you know you can't be hurt. If you know you're safe, loved, safe, supported, nothing can hurt you. There could literally be like crazy things going on around you and you will be in your peace bubble because I've experienced it myself. and and even in my dreams, if there's like crazy things happening in my dreams, I'm like, nope, I don't accept this. And I'll like literally fall on my bed. Like I'll feel the thump and then just wake up and I'll start laughing again because I'm like, okay, of course, nothing can hurt me. I'm just going to wake up in my bed anyway. And this is numerous times. So I know this is available to all of us where we're safe. And like walk on water, just observe. And the more you walk on water, the more fun you're going to get to have in this garden, in this kingdom of your imagination, the garden of God, the kingdom of God, like and yeah, so if you guys want to continue the conversation, which I know you do, leave us comments. Let us know if you want to be in the channel. Let us know if you need our assistance. We're also available for coaching. You have our links in the description, our emails. And if you want to contribute to our channel in any way, please also let us know. And I leave you with some empowering parting words from Mitch.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us today on I Am Reality Now, states of consciousness. I think that we're really believing in ourselves, truly believing in ourselves. There's infinite states. You're walking by faith instead of by sight. And this is very empowering. It's sheer power to be as I am, to be fulfilled, to truly understand that you're the cause and fulfillment is where it's at because that's love is where it's all at. And the sky's the limit. So on that note, I am Mitch.
And I am Stephania. We love you guys. We love you guys, and you are reality. Bye.
Bye.